Well, it's been drizzling again just this morning. The clouds around the capital have been up and painting some picture for us, and intermittently will rain a bit. It will be a bit heavy. It will go back to the state of being a drizzle. But we know that there are fears because already there had been a number of fatalities recorded from the rains overnight from it would be Monday at night and into Tuesday, and then we also had a number of reports also coming in about property being destroyed and people being displaced from their homes, etc. But we will also want to let you into the conversation, so we'll open the phone lines shortly. But Kojo is again here with me, and Kojo, it's something that we have to talk about as far as we're concerned, because we know that once we don't plan, we're definitely planning to fail.
And planning, of course, has been the lack of planning has been the root cause of this problem from the very beginning. Even at a fundamental level, the fact that the city of Accra is not properly planned, is perhaps the basis of all of our difficulties. Yeah. And we haven't been able to superimpose planning over it. This is, you may not know this, but I actually trained as an equivalent of a town planner.
Okay.
Yes. So it's very difficult to superimpose order over chaos, but it is possible. It just takes a bit of political will, and it can be done. However, currently, as we speak, there is still the aftermath of Monday night's rains, which we haven't yet been able to come to grips with.
We haven't been able to deal with properly.
Yes, in Agbogba, which I understand is not so far from Medina, sort of towards the atomic side of town. There were some cars that were washed off the road during the floods. These cars are now submerged in mud. Nobody has moved them. So in fact, people in the community can't tell for certain whether or not there aren't bodies in those cars. And nobody has been able to get to these cars or move them. And it just makes you start to think about the material cost of the rain, in Adabraka, in two particular areas, Sahara Park, and also in Odona, Adabraka, Odona. People had to run out of their homes when the rains began because they were filling up with water so fast, and it was not safe at all. So they all scrambled out of the way, came out of their homes. Of course, you can't carry everything you own with you. And so you can imagine the amount of property that has been lost to these people, not just those who were in their homes, but those night traders who are set up along the streets and who are all, to one extent or the other, looking after very valuable items that they are selling and, using for their trade. All of it washed away with one episode of rainfall.
Wow. Well, Ed, we also saw that there's also because, well, apart from not being prepared, the residents themselves, they really had nothing to do about the situation. Many of them in low-lying areas, and the waters just kept coming into the homes. And it's within that period, and I've witnessed it before, it's within that period that the waters, they trickle in so fast, you can't do anything about it because you are at the lower end as far as the chain is concerned, and once you occupy or you're located there, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a very distressing situation for any resident or inhabitant of any location to be in that situation.
But you wonder why we do this to ourselves, Human life cannot be quantified. One life cannot be quantified. That baby, that 2-month-old baby that was washed away in a gutter. Can you even start to imagine what that baby could have become? What that baby could have achieved?
Yes.
Is that the cure for cancer that we've just washed down the gutter? Simply because we don't know what to do as a people when it rains?
Yeah.
It's rain, it's water. Water. I mean, no matter however dangerous it is also a governable element.
Yeah.
We have dominion over all things. Water is included.
Yeah.
There are people, and I made this point yesterday, didn't I? That there are people living in the rainforest where more rain falls than any other part of the world. They are living there. Their things don't get washed away every time it rains. and they don't have the benefit of the technology and the infrastructure and the brains and the education that we here in Accra
and we have used our brains and the technology to make it difficult for us to live.
It's tragic. It's tragic.
Anyway.
And I don't know how many lives will be enough. I don't know how many. In a year, we lost 157 people in the Circle disaster, and we didn't think it was enough. So I wonder how we feel about the 7 who lost their lives on Monday night. Is that enough? 157 kra we impusu here. So what will we do about 7?
Yes, it's a very distressing situation for everybody. But please, just in case you're located in any of those locations, you're first-hand experienced person, please let us hear from you. We're talking the floods in Accra, but we know that elsewhere, 1 or 2 other regions, there were some excesses recorded when it rained within the last 36 hours. If it's raining currently, also has rained in your neighborhood, let us know. You can call us now. We have 0302211691102. Again, 0302211691102.
And you know, it's a blessing if you're home and dry, or if you're in the office dry and safe today. It is a more uncommon blessing than other people in other parts of the world would consider. I mean, when it rains, it's nothing. It's nothing to people who live in a community that is planned in a society that has laws that are enforced. When it rains, it is nothing. It's a little bit of water. People sing and dance in the rain. We die in the rain.
That's the sad part of it.
It's tragic.
So just call in and let us know what you think. 0302221 or 0302211691102, and let us know what you think about it. But better still, you can get interactive with us. Facebook, JoyNews on TV. It's where you can get us. You can also watch us live, but let's hear your comments. Watch us live also on my Online TV, a regular channel on YouTube. But the thing is, we needed the emergency response services. And we've noted, apparently speaking to the residents, that just like other years before now, they've just not been available and awakened to their duty.
Well, we don't even get a warning that it's going to rain. We can't even predict rain here in Ghana. This is some of the things that make me wince, you know, in pain when I think about what it means to be Ghanaian. We're so proud of who we are, and we should be, because we come from a fantastic heritage. But what heritage are we also adding on to the story of Ghana? What are we also adding on to it? We can't predict weather.
Not at all.
Even when I watch CNN, I learn more about what's going to happen in Ghana than I learn from the people of Ghana. CNN can predict our weather better than we can. You know, they can tell us what the temperatures will be in Accra, and maybe 7 times out of 10 they are correct. We can't tell when it's going to rain.
More predictably.
So that the little provision we have in terms of emergency response, NADMO, fire service, so that they can position themselves in the areas that we know will flood. We can't even do that. What can we do? What can we do? We sit clueless and hold our head when it rains? What are we capable of?
Yeah.
What can we do? What is left to be proud of now?
This is one of the things that we have to face as a people. We'll try as much as possible, get you in on it, get to representatives of the National Disaster Management Organization. We're trying to get their lines through. We're getting through, but they're not picking up. So we'll try as much as possible. Also get the meteorological agency, get to speak to them, get to know what really their own investigations are so far, what their predictions are based on the technology that they use, which is of course an acceptable, a standard one. But we have from Ablekuba Maunyo, and we have Maunyo on the line.
Oh, hello Maunyo. Thank you so much for calling us.
Hello.
You see, this is like a ritual to us. Every year, it's like every year it rains. Every year it rains, and we haven't gotten the knowledge to prepare before the rain sets in. You see, we allow the polythene bags. We don't care. Anybody do whatever is good for him at the time that he wants. You can't drink water now and drop it anywhere. And we know that polythene bag or that sachet water bag takes so many years before it dissolves. When you throw it on the ground, where do you think it goes to? It has to move to a lowland area. The wind has to blow it, and the gutters, it has to choke the gutter. So to me, my advice to all of us is that we should bring attitudinal change to all Ghanaians. Let's start from the primary schools, okay? You don't take water or polythene bag and throw it away. Have a place to put it so that somebody will come and gather it, and then we throw it at the exact place. But when we don't change this attitude, this type of thing will be happening. Let's talk about the communal labor. How many people have the urge to do the communal labor now? When you feel you are doing it, somebody is somewhere saying that, oh, you are just doing it for for your own pocket. Whilst they really know that because it can affect you and affect them, they can also participate and help. But they don't want to do it that way.
So
are you with me?
Yes.
The last one is that look at the way we build. The AMA is going round. When they take something from the people, that's all. And the landlords are worrying people selling land where they are not supposed to sell. So what are we doing to ourselves? Why can't government step in if you are building and it's not good? They stop you from the initial thing. Thank you, Walker.
Well, thank you, Maunyo, for calling us.
It's a perennial problem of just that we can't complain. It's as we're wailing and calling out for the authorities to do something about it.
Well, we have really about the authorities alone. I mean, as a people, you know what we do, don't you?
Yes,
we clean our house, we empty our house of dirt, and go and pour it onto the street.
Like that gas tank that you nearly swept away with your car.
Indeed.
Just didn't happen. We have Mike Bonsu calling us from Link Road. Good morning to you, Mike.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing, guys?
Not bad.
Mike, we're good. And where is Link Road?
Link Road is near Radio Gold.
Okay, Alatebi Okoshi.
You know, yeah, the road. And I think I need to.
No, but that's okay. I think
radio because I'm listening to myself. So
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so just turn it off. But tell us about your experiences and any other commentary.
Well, my experience actually is with the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. I almost got swept away in my vehicle from there. I think it is one very good monument that we have in this country. But I think there is a defect with the construction because you know, you climb on each side. You have to climb before you get on the bridge itself. And when it rains and you're coming from the bus stop end, you know, the whole place gets flooded. And the water that gets on top of the bridge, you know, descends down and it floods the whole place. And I got stuck. And it was coming in gas. Apparently, my friends that were using the other four corners were experiencing the same thing. And I think the authorities need to look at the drainage over there or the construction because it's causing a lot of flood around the circle area. The bridge itself, the overpass.
The construction has helped in rather making sure that people go over. Well, if there was normally a flooding situation, but I think water rather collects at the base. So you have to. So you have to wade through the. So you have to wade through the water before you are able to get onto the bridge. That's what you mean, and that makes it difficult.
You know when
it's
you're
water.
Coming,
it's actually water that's coming from Adabraka, the Ringway area, and all that. That's why we have the collected water from.
Exactly. Exactly, and it's scary. It's absolutely scary.
So how did you get help then?
Well, fortunately, when you're driving a 4x4 with a super traction control, you can go through water easily. There are times people say that they don't see why people are driving 4x4 vehicles in Accra. I think in such situations they become very, very handy, and it helped. It helped me to back out. But
right.
But I got a lot of water in my exhaust.
Oh,
Oh
well,
yeah.
well.
I deliberately went over to punch a little hole in it, and the amount of water that came out of my exhaust, you wouldn't believe it. So this is a situation well, this is what I faced around Kwame Nkrumah Circle overpass. I mean, under normal circumstances, when it's not raining, it is the best thing that's happened to Accra. But I think when it's raining, the engineers ought to have a look at it again.
Well, we seem to have lost him.
The question of Kwame Nkrumah Circle obviously being raised again. And, you know, it's not the overpass per se, it's the location that we haven't managed to properly engineer so that water does not get retained.
Appropriately.
You know? Yeah.
And that was what I was trying to get through to him.
Yeah,
it's not really the facility. The facility, actually, it's even resolving a problem. So we have another caller on the line.
Yes, let's speak to Michael Witter. I hope I've got your name right, Michael. You're calling from Adenta, New Legon. Is that right?
Yes, Adenta, New Legon.
Well, it's fantastic to hear from you. I hope you're dry and not being washed away as we speak.
Yes,
how was Monday night for you?
90% of my staff cannot be used. I have to start over.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Tell me how that happened.
One thing is that Adenta, New Legon, we don't have drainage system here. There's no single gutter in Adenta, New Legon. There's only one big gutter in Adenta, New Legon. So anytime it rains, all the rains and everything gets into that gutter. And when it's still off, then the whole community is in danger. I just thank God that I have my family, my two boys around. And actually, when it happened, I was not here. I work somewhere in Alibo. It was my wife and the kids. So people have to come in and rescue them. So, but we've lost almost 90% of the staff.
Tell me some of the things you've lost.
Is it?
Tell me some of the things that you've lost.
Yeah, I mean the personal stuff, things that we have in the room, our fridges, everything. Even our polytank was washed away, even with water in the polytank. You can just imagine. It was washed away. So it's so terrible. Even yesterday night, my wife couldn't sleep because she has a distinct feeling that the water was coming again. So the whole of yesterday night, I have to some sort of counseling, talking to her, and all this stuff, because this is the first time we're going through this kind of situation.
It's so sad.
And we have complained so many times to the Municipal Assembly, but I don't know. Sometimes you don't have to blame them so much because you look at their jurisdiction and it's very, 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 very big. And almost every area needs a development.
But tell me about this area that you're describing, Adenta New Legon, where you say there are no gutters.
No single gutter here in Adenta New Legon.
I don't quite understand that. So what sort of sewage system exists? Where does your water go when you have a shower?
Yes, the only thing you have to do your own soak away. So some of the houses here, they have something like they put the bath like a container bucket. When you finish, you come out and collect the water and throw it away. But those who can afford to do a proper soak away, my place. But there's no absolutely single gutter here in Adenta New Legon.
Do you own your home or are you renting?
So terrible, very, very terrible. Yesterday, when I came, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't.
I can really feel the emotion in your voice, Michael. It can't be easy. It can't be easy for you.
It is just by the grace of God. I just don't know how I will manage and get to where we have gotten and lost all this. But I know by the grace of God, we will get there. But I think there should be a serious reconstruction of the whole track. I don't think that Ghana, we are a bunch of jokers in this country. We talk too much. Look, all that is happening, we talk. Go around and see. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that is going on. So that is what we are a bunch of jokers in this country. And our children will live to regret it. To be sincere with you.
Michael, just a bit of education for us. Your home in Adenta New Legon, is it a home that you built, or are you renting?
No. It's a building that I put up myself.
Right.
I am not renting.
Okay. And when you built it, and it was time to build in, I mean, because construction includes the building of sewage systems. So when it came to that point, what did you do? The authority from which you had a permit to build, what was the requirement in terms of sewage?
Yes, you see, for my place, if I'm going to build the drainage system, it has to start from somewhere before it gets to my place. Because it means if I do my place and the other places have not been done, it will become useless. You understand? And it also requires a lot of capital. And I don't have that financial muscle to pick up that construction. So that is a problem. It's really...
Michael, I feel your pain, and thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. We're thinking about your wife and your 2 boys, but we know that, look, everything is possible with perseverance, with prayers. This situation can be turned around. And look, we're solidly behind you. Let's see if we can get some contact details for Michael. I would certainly want to keep track of his progress through this and see whether there is any kind of assistance in terms of directing him to the right departments to get this problem resolved on a permanent basis. I can't imagine the nightmare of living in an area where there is no sewage. There is no drainage.
No, but we have to be truthful. Apart from Central Accra, in terms of cantonment and those places, and then also where we have the estates, let's say if it's Trazako, Regimanuel, the state estates like Dansoman areas, Sakumono, Tema, and those places that have been well planned, they have a central sewer. There's no central sewer anywhere in our country, especially now that we have the economic livelihoods of people improving. They're getting access to capital or money or making money, and as a result of that, they are making purchases of these new lands and property. And I can imagine, beyond where you live, I'm sure they're close to you, just Ajingano, close to those places. There's no central sewer anywhere.
But you see, it tells you.
Yeah.
It tells you what we prioritize, as a people.
And we have, those places are supposed to be first-class neighborhoods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no.
So you come along, you buy land,
and people are buying more.
Yeah, you buy land. You're going to build a home.
Dodowa in Sawam, then people are buying.
This is the point. Before you buy the land, you know what the situation is there. You know what amenities and utilities are available before you buy the land. You know that you're about to build in a place where there's no sewage.
But what
there's
can
no
you
drainage.
do? You can't be paying rent all your life.
Yes, you need to build. But if you need to build, this is an integral part. You wouldn't build without a roof. So why would you build without drainage?
It's not easy.
It's not an optional feature of a home. Drainage is necessary. I'm hearing of soakaways.
If you say drainage, what do you mean?
A path for all of your water and water
to go where?
Yes, to leave your home and join some municipal system. So if there is an absence of a municipal system, that's a failure of government. But if you decide to build in spite of that absence, that is a choice that you're making, and there is a consequence to it. And I'm so sad to hear about this man's family and the loss of his property.
Yeah, because many people who have new properties really have no option. Adenta newly gone, and that's where we had Michael from. But we have Pastor John Cato calling us from Agbogba. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, Pastor Cato, tell us your experiences. What commentary you want to make on this?
From Monday night when the rain came down, my experience was from Agbogba, that's not Legon, towards Abokobi where I stay. The whole road was flooded. The road became dangerous. A lot of vehicles had problems on the way. But there is this spot between Old Ashoreman to Ablaje, that is towards Abokobi. And there was this vehicle that fell into the ditch of the road and was washed about 150 meters down the ditch. And the car is still stuck down there in some palm plantation. It's still stuck there, yes. A black Nissan Sentra also with the front windows rolled down. Yes, I was thinking maybe yesterday the NACO team would have come around to move the car from the big, but it's still there. And looking at the weather, it's likely the rain will come again. And I don't know what will happen, whether it's better. Because the road close to the bridge where the water runs through is almost washed off. It's reduced. And if you come and see opposite to the other side, the waterway, there are buildings being constructed in the waterway, and people even trying to fill the waterway with sand and some debris just to make room for them to put up buildings there. And I wonder what the assembly is doing about it. There is a building right in the middle of the waterway that was overrun with the water, totally submerged in the water. But after, the people have come back and they are still cleaning up to live in that same house again. And I don't know what the government or the assembly is doing about that. And this vehicle is still there, about 150 meters up the road into the bush where the water runs through. Yeah. I spoke to NATMO, and they said they are men on their way to testing to recover the vehicle of the doctor, the missing doctor. So from there, they will proceed to this place.
And that's this morning. You're talking this morning.
Recover.
You're talking this morning. You're talking this morning, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
I spoke to them this morning.
All right.
Now, just a few minutes before speaking to you. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody said. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see how it goes. And we know that many people really are in no situation to control the condition in which they live, because you want a certain place to lay your head. You want a place of your own. And what he's talking about, Agboba, supposed to be North Legon, where we have, after you go through the Hacho area, you get into the other side of where Wisconsin or etc. should be. Yeah. You go down, that will be Hacho. They have no central sewer. I mean, that's
and like you say, this is common to many areas where development is happening. Yeah. So you see, it is a combination of.
It doesn't lie in my thinking and purview for me to say, well, there's no central sewer, so I'm not going to build.
No, that's the point I was trying to make. That look, you build with the knowledge that there is no sewage system. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have a choice. Like you can choose, I will build here where there's a sewer instead of here where there's no sewer. No, I understand that constraint, that once you buy land, you must build, you can't keep paying rent forever. But you also know what is missing when you buy that land. You know. But the problem is this. We are failing to take advantage of the demand for housing. The fact that people are buying land willing to build means there is a demand. In other parts of the world, when you are buying land, you are going to build, there are service, there's ground rent, there's service charges, there's council tax, all kinds of little levies that are used to manage municipal systems, like sewage, like drainage, okay? So that when you're coming to build, you know that when I buy this land, I'm going to have to pay this little amount, which will take care of drainage. Okay, so that once you buy the plot, you know that the state, is going to build.
But ideally, it's the state that should be the implementing agency for all these.
I'm with you. So this is not the fault of the people who are buying land. Okay. This is a failure, yet another failure of our state. System. Yes, and I mean the poor man Michael, who we spoke to, whose wife and children luckily survived the onslaught of rain on Monday night. He's fortunate to be out of that situation, but he's in a situation that is common to so many Ghanaians, and we are forced into this because we have I was going to say we have a system that doesn't work, but the truth is we have no system.